Hello everyone and welcome back to the Warrior Football Podcast. Joining me today is Daniel Leggett.
Hello, mate. How are we?
Don't bait out his government name.
Do you know what? No, what we need to introduce you first, James, Jews Football, because this is your first episode.
It is my debut.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you go back to hosting now, but it just needed to be said.
Well
James.
Welcome, James. We all love James. If you all love James, clap your hands. Only I clap my hands.
Let the man do his job.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome, mate.
Also joining me today, we have Eno Football,
Hey.
the least biased Napoli fan of all time.
Least biased Napoli fan of all, probably genuinely true because they're very biased over there. Rightfully so. Best team in the world.
And
Apart from Arsenal and Hereford.
And joining me today is Hajduk Split local fan, Connor Chahal.
I did pass out outside their stadium once. That is a true story.
1.5% Croat in you, is it? That's what I'm heard.
So, somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Hrvatska is how they say. So you say Croatia and Croatia.
Yeah.
Berodavo Sukor.
But happy to be here.
Completely off the topic of Croatia. We're going to be talking about like Manchester United, Man City, the Manchester
Chorluka,
Derby.
he played for City.
He did actually. That is true. That is very true. We're going to start off with
Fucking idiot.
the eternal debate: Pep or Fergie. Dan, I'm going to start with you as a Manchester United fan. For you, I'm guessing it's pretty simple: Pep or Fergie.
Yeah, obviously I'm going to go Fergie. But the scary thing is this is a conversation now. We're going to have a conversation about what Pep's done so far. His story isn't written yet, which is a worry in terms of like the trophy haul and like the quality of teams that he had. We'll get into it a little bit further. I'll let the other guys answer, but as a one-word answer, yeah, Sir Alex for sure.
Gareth?
Yeah, well, I actually do love Sir Alex. I think like that era growing up with Wenger and Sir Alex, I couldn't not respect. And like, even though I hated United, it was always like certain players like Rooney, Scholes, Sir Alex. Like I always had like respect for them. So I do love him. But for me, Pep, and I don't like Pep. Growing up, I always hated Pep. Actually, he sold Eto, and I'm still not over it. But I just think he is
such a random thing to hold a grudge
mate,
over.
Anyway, I do think it's Pep.
Connor, you're also a Manchester United fan, so you're going
No, I'm
Pep,
not.
right?
I'm not a United fan.
Cov fan.
Cov
Oh
fan.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Cov
He
fan,
switched
yeah.
his allegiances.
Thank you. But no, Sir Alex Ferguson is not clear, but he's better than Pep.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we're going to quickly go into like their careers before Man United and Manchester City. Obviously, Pep did absolute wonders at Barcelona, brought in incredible players from La Masia. And then Fergie, a little bit different, worked wonders at Aberdeen. Culturally, a lot different.
Not wonders.
There's actual sun in Catalonia. Which achievement was more impressive? Well, in general, whose time in management at those clubs is better or more impressive, would you say? Because Pep took Barcelona to like unthinkable levels, arguably the greatest team we've ever seen. Yeah, Ferguson with Aberdeen was a bit different. It stopped the whole Celtic and Rangers. He took them to 3 league titles, won a cup, won his cup. Gareth, is that overrated or?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think it's very overrated. And it's not that it's not a great achievement, what he did at Aberdeen, but people just go, they look at it from a modern lens and they just go, Aberdeen winning like league titles, competing in Europe, winning a European trophy, Cup Winners' Cup. People say, for some reason people say the European Cup, like they didn't win the European Cup, they won the European Cup Winners' Cup. Still very good, but like you would see that from teams like Aberdeen. And in the Scottish League, Rangers massively fell off. Like obviously Fergie had a massive bitterness towards Rangers, and great for him that he got to stick it to them, but he got to stick it to them whilst they fell off. And Celtic also weren't quite as good. They were still good in that time period, but you saw like other teams like coming up as well at that time. Like you mentioned Dundee United with Jim, what's his name? Forget the other manager.
Savile?
Who?
No.
Jim McLean.
Yeah, Jim McLean. He did very well at Dundee United as well. So it wasn't like it was this... people paint it as this impossible thing, and that's why it's overrated. But it was still very, very impressive. In terms of, like, was it better than what Pep did? It's kind of like when people compare what Klopp did at Dortmund to what Pep did at Barca or whatever. It's just very, very different. Like, you're taking an elite team that, you know, recently won, like, Champions League and La Liga double. A couple of years later, Pep takes over and then takes them to a treble and playing, like, the best football we had seen at the time, at least for a long time. And then 2011, where they were even better. Obviously, they didn't win the treble that year, but they were much better that year. Whereas it's taking like a team who are like third or fourth in Scotland and then taking them to be the best in some years, winning cups, and then also winning the Cup Winners' Cup. So it's just very different things. So it's hard to compare. I would probably say like Fergie's like, it's just slightly more impressive just because he's really lifted it up.
I'll be honest, that that argument that the reason why Aberdeen were good were because Rangers and Celtic fell off. You could use that sentence in any league-winning side ever. Watch it. The only reason why Pep's really good right now and City are winning the league is because Man United have fallen off.
No,
Like,
because
it
he
doesn't-
surpassed what United were doing.
Yeah, maybe. But then, like, Fergie didn't have the
Fergie-
longevity at Aberdeen to even implement anything like that because he got picked up.
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
he had more
Like-
time at Aberdeen than Pep's, or a similar amount of time as Pep's had so far. And like in terms of like points total, and I hate comparing points totals and stuff like that. But he wasn't like smashing out what they were doing before at the
Do you
park.
think that that's just not modern football though?
What do you mean?
The points tallies, consistency, grinding out results. I feel like that's developed over years because
Yeah,
points,
but
points tallies generally, as a world football whole,
Yeah.
they've been creeping up year after
But no,
year
no, you
after year
misunderstood
after
what I
year.
said. I said in terms of he wasn't like overperforming what like Celtic and Rangers were doing when
What
they
did
were better.
before?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, so he
okay,
wasn't
yeah.
like they did drop
Yeah.
off, and he kind of just he did improve Aberdeen and massively. He also had like a very good squad, but like again, like it was a super impressive job. And I would say like compared to like the Barca thing, probably a bit better. But I just think people overrate that and they underrate what Pep did at Barca. Like they say, oh, you know, he just had all the money, and actually like he brought through a lot of his own players. People also. The things that people overlook with Fergie and Pep is they overlook Pep at Barcelona B and what he did kind of helped revolutionise their like development system from what like Cruyff had done previously.
Yeah, he's
And
really
then
Cruyff influenced, isn't he?
Sir Alex really helped St Mirren get like further forward. And James, you said before we started recording, like one of the years Aberdeen won the main title in Scotland, St Mirren finished third, and that's because Fergie got them back up and stuff. So people overlook those things as well. But yeah, for me, you can't really compare those two different things too much because it's just they're so different.
I mean, the eras in football are so much different. Back then,
Yeah.
I think it was harder to win 3, 4, 5, 6 titles. Obviously, Fergie won 3 at Aberdeen.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he probably would have gone on to win more. I would imagine he was just that good as a coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, he would have won more.
But winning 1 or 2, it was more than possible because just the way football was back then, you could keep your players. Players just didn't get picked up. Like, I mean, they had
Gordon Strachan.
Strachan, Willie McLean as the Willie McLean?
Willie McLean.
Yeah, centre halves. They would have just been picked off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, by Fergie.
yeah. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But back then it just didn't happen that you could have your peak at a club like Aberdeen. But what Pep did, man. Dan, I mean, you remember the old Real
How
Madrid,
old are you talking?
the old Real Madrid sides from their first 5 European Cup wins. Very, very well.
Di Stefano.
Di Stefano, mate. Raymond Copper. Hector Real. Brilliant players.
Like it was yesterday.
Dan was in the
bro.
stadium.
Dan was in the stadium, man. Yeah, he actually refed a lot of the games. Is that Pep Barcelona side the best you've ever seen?
Yeah. That Pep Barcelona side, I think I'd probably go 09 maybe. Wow, you got United side. Let's go 2010 to 2012. For me, that was the best ever Barcelona. That's the best football team I've seen in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few comparisons. You could have like Saki's Milan and obviously current Pep Man City teams like that.
Yeah.
Fergie just did
Totally.
everything better. He did what Pep did, but he did it better.
No,
Our
but-
treble was better.
No.
Right,
Like,
we could
because
even do
I even
United
think
Barca, I don't
I even
know.
think just Prem legacy alone, I'd still put Pep number 1.
No.
Yeah, because
That's
longevity.
why. That's false.
No,
That's so
longevity
false.
is
That's so
one
false.
thing, right? That's the only thing Fergie has over.
If longevity
over Pep.
was easy, everybody would do it.
One thing I will say.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Pep's been at the top for 15 years now, which is okay. Granted, like only a portion of the time, but it's not even that far. Because you think when Fergie was at the top,
Bro, 3 different eras of football.
when Fergie's at the top,
You know how
was
much football
20 years.
changed?
He's only 5 years behind. Yeah,
Sir-
Pep's
Sir
been
Alex
through
Ferguson.
two almost 3.
But does the
different
eye
eras.
test not mean
And
anything to you as
no,
well? Because Pep's football's boring.
Okay,
No one
shush,
likes it.
we'll get onto that. But
Shush.
but Pep's been through different eras of football, and he's the one dictating those eras.
Yeah,
as well.
that's a different argument to me.
But
you
like,
just
you
said
know,
longevity
Arsenal
in the Premier
fans
League.
will go like with Wenger. They go, "Oh, he changed the league," which is a big part of legacy. I think in terms of your impact on a league, I think is a big part.
Yeah,
Pep's
yeah.
done the same thing. He's come in, like rules have been changed because of what he's done, and he's come in and like.
But that
he's
doesn't mean
inspired.
that doesn't mean
It's part
managerial.
of legacy, though, isn't it?
I suppose on a technicality, yeah. But you said all he's got on him is longevity.
Which is true.
We don't know how long Pep's going to be here for.
Yeah,
We
but he's
don't know.
basically gone for as long as Fergie already. In terms of at the top.
Well, then how's Fergie got more titles? I know longevity.
No, okay. I was talking about like Pep's.
You said Premier League legacy.
Also,
no.
In the Premier
That's
League,
wild.
you said Premier League
That's
legacy.
just, there's no way.
Who's Pep had to deal with? Fergie had to deal with Wenger's Arsenal, Mourinho's Chelsea. Dispatched all of them, kept on winning titles.
No.
Wenger had to deal with
Dispatched all
Klopp's
of them.
Liverpool.
No.
Can
He didn't dispatch
Can I just say?
Mourinho. Mourinho washed him, and then Mourinho self imploded on himself. and then
Mourinho won
left the
2.
league.
Fergie saw that and then raised him and won 3 in a row, and Mourinho had to fuck off.
Can I just
No,
say?
he had gone by the time.
I need to.
Yeah,
Just
I know
say,
that's because
If
Fergie
Mourinho
took
was
back
still
over.
there, they would have. That year you won the double, which is Fergie's best team. Mourinho would have won the league and Champions League. Easy.
Yeah, can I just say, Ferguson?
He was
did,
washing you. You were
Ferguson
nowhere
won,
near. You were
Ferguson
nowhere
won
near.
multiple league titles with 70 points. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
No, that's because the disconnect from the
That's
top of the
just
league
the
now,
that's
the disconnect from the
that's the
top of the league to the
evolution of
bottom of the league
football.
now is huge because of the money involved. I'm not saying Fergie didn't spend, of course he spent, but the disconnect from the top of the league to the bottom of the league now is way bigger than it used to be. Back in prime Barclays, mid 2000s, anyone could beat anyone. No one could beat fucking anyone. That City and Liverpool
Pep's
lost
changed the
one.
game.
Liverpool
He's
lost
too
one
good.
game all season and didn't win the league. The disconnect from the top to the bottom is fucking huge
The gap has
compared
got
to
better.
what it
That's
used
the
to be.
evolution of football.
Like,
Yeah.
Sunderland would go to United, bottom of the league, having 16 points all season and get a result at Old Trafford. Could you imagine someone doing that to City now, like Burnley going to Etihad and getting?
Palace
look
didn't
at the
get
points.
Result, like it still happened.
Looking at
If you
points
have
across
one
years
City
as well.
player on more wages than an entire Burnley's wage structure, there's no comparison to what it is now. The
Well,
competition.
that's another thing I want to talk about because people always say the money against Pep. Fergie was breaking the transfer records. He was spending more money than everyone
Wasn't
else.
breaking rules. Though.
115.
Oh well,
It
no, he
isn't-
was though.
it
'Cause
isn't
he
the
had
same,
he was,
though.
you
It
know,
isn't the same.
He was intimidating the refs. He probably had them on the payroll, so he probably was breaking.
No, he did not have refs on payroll.
He did, but not
He
to
was
this
that
level.
good that everyone just assumed we had the refs on payroll. By the way.
No.
I can't believe you said that. You genuinely sorry, James.
No,
You
I want
said
to hear
you
it.
said Pep has a better
Yeah,
Premier
can I
League
back
legacy
that
than-
up? Titles per season. He's like way ahead, and yes, there's context to that.
Yeah.
But also there's context to a lot of Fergie's titles. He was competing with Norwich and Newcastle.
One season with Norwich and Newcastle.
Yeah. No, 2 with Newcastle, and then they.
Yeah, but Newcastle were actually the team back then to beat. Like
The point is, there was more
Yeah, but
teams for Fergie
that
to.
was with
But it was
money
it
as
was
well.
Newcastle with like half decent team. You know,
Mate,
it's not the
yeah.
same as like
It
Pep
was-
versus Liverpool. Even Arteta's Arsenal way better.
If
than
Pep
that.
goes through 3 different eras of football and wins every time,
He's already been
fine.
through 2, and he's won through them, and he sets the eras.
But like I said earlier, does the eye test actually mean nothing to you? Genuinely, because Tobe said he was going to watch City, and he's standing here right now. That proves that the football was boring.
It's half time. It's half time. The eye test does mean something. Fergie's football was a bit more entertaining to watch.
A lot more entertaining to watch. We just scored
Fergie
more
was
goals
2
than the
points off
opposition.
of 9 in a row.
Yeah, but he didn't win them.
Legacy.
Yeah, but he didn't win them.
2 points.
Yeah,
off of
you know,
9
he was
in a row.
also off. He
Sound
was
like a Liverpool
2
fan,
minutes
mate.
off not winning the Champions League. He was very close to not beating Arsenal in the FA Cup. And Arsenal were probably better that season you won the league, in the league.
Fergie,
But you're 1 point.
bro, I don't think.
So you want to cry about it?
I reckon.
Like you were last night.
I reckon. I reckon over Fergie's 20-year tenure, whatever it was, I reckon we were the best team in the world once for a period of 2 years. That's it. That to me isn't like an argument against him. We also continue to win Prem.
You're the best team in England.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Dan, Connor, Gareth, thanks for joining me.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
boy.